All right, what's up, YouTube? It's Graydon here with Forever Booked, and in this video, we're gonna walk through a 2025/26 meta ads guide for med spas. So I made this video back in 2023. It was pretty popular. A lot has changed since 2023, and so this video is gonna be a complete update. In this video, we're gonna cover what type of offers to use, how to write the copy, the best images and videos to use, the best way to follow up with the leads, and the best way to book appointments and close sales. Because to make money with meta ads, there's a lot of steps that need to happen in order correctly because everything's related. The first one is getting the click, then getting the schedule, getting the show, and then getting the sale. A big mistake with meta ads is thinking it's just about the ads, just about getting people to click the ads, get leads, when in reality, your entire strategy has to be built around the campaign that you're launching. So to get started, let's talk about getting the click. In my 2023 video, I made this diagram called the What Matters Pyramid to show you why the offer is the most important thing in your campaigns. Since then, I've learned that there's a bit more nuance, and so I'm updating this to a what matters circle. The offer is still the most important thing. It's about 60%, contributes 60% to your results. Then you have the creative, which is about 25%. Then you have your copy, 10%, and then targeting, which is 5%. So let's start off with the offer. I love to use this analogy. If you see my other videos, you may have seen me talk about cake versus ingredients. So your individual treatments are like ingredients to a cake, and ingredients are commodities. When you go to the grocery store, the price of flour does not fluctuate very much. Maybe by a couple dollars. It's because it's a commodity. People are very sensitive to price changes. They're inelastic, meaning they're not willing to pay a lot of money for flour because it's flour. It's a commodity. But the price of cake can go crazy high. People pay thousands, tens of thousands of dollars for super special cakes. And what are those cakes? It's simply the same ingredients that are combined in a unique way to create a differentiated product. We want to do the same thing with your treatment. So you can combine these commoditized treatments into something called the Forever Young Injection Package. And we call this a unicorn offer because it makes your clinic stand out like a unicorn. So here's an example. This is an ad that one of my clients launched. It went viral and it blew up their clinic because it's just a very sexy, differentiated, unique offer. They had this going for a full year before they turned it off because it was just so effective. It kept on bringing in leads. Some other examples. This one of my clients has been using this for months to bring in clients. It's a bit more expensive. It includes wrinkle tox injections, a lip flip, and a beauty bank credit. This one specifically for the jawline and the neck. We call it the Snatched and Smooth offer. And this offer is a free summer skin reset. This obviously works incredible. It's a free offer, but we do have a special system to upsell those clients on the back end. So these are just some examples of unicorn offers that our clients use to bring in patients. So if you want to create your own unicorn offer, you first want to start with a problem. People think about solving their problems, not the treatments. They don't wake up thinking, oh my God, I want to get microneedling. I want to get Botox. They're thinking, I hate these wrinkles. I want to get rid of them. So start with a problem, not the treatment. Name it like a makeover. So the name is really important. Names have a lot of leverage, and that's how you can really differentiate the offer. Here are some example names that we've used for our offers. Always include a consult. So you want to set the expectation from the beginning that the offer includes an assessment so you can figure out what they actually need and give it to them. Include a trial treatment or an entry level treatment. So the consult is like you need to do a consult to figure out what they need, but people don't like consults. It's like it's not very exciting to come in for a consult. So you include a treatment as the exciting carrot that's going to make them, very stoked to come in and get that treatment. Next, you want to stack bonuses. This is where it really becomes a unicorn offer. When you take a treatment and then combine one or two bonuses, you suddenly have a unique package that you can give a unique name. You then want to add up the total retail value. In this case, it'd be $4.95, and then offer a no-brainer price. You generally want to offer the price that's 10 to 50% of the total value to show people that they're getting an amazing deal. By the way, this doesn't mean you take a treatment and then discount it by 80%. What it means is you stack different treatments together, especially treatments that have a low fulfillment cost, so you can offer it at a discount without just discounting one of your treatments 50%. You wouldn't discount your Morpheus by 50%. It's just going to erode the price integrity. So you instead want to find entry-level treatments and bonuses, stack them together to create a very high perceived value package. I do have this tool called the Unicorn Offer Creator. It's a custom GPT. This thing works really, really well. You can just enter treatments into there and it'll help you come up with packages. If you want to get access, click the link on this video. I'll send you this free resource sheet and you can click this link to get access to the GPT. All right, on to the creative. So what's working now with creative? Staff and client photos, treatment videos are working really well, especially close-up treatment videos. educational videos. If you have educational videos on your TikTok or Instagram, repurpose them into an ad. UGC video as well. We're starting to hire a lot of UGC creators to create these videos that our clients can use, and these are super effective. However, you need to make sure it's natural UGC. If people think it's an ad, it's not going to work as well. Also, if you're good with Canva or have someone in your clinic who can design these types of offer focused static images work really well. You want to be super direct. Here's the price, here's the total value, here's the name, here's the benefits, here's what's included. And then AI images as well. We use a lot of that. It's not our main strategy, but they can also make your photos pop and stand out in the feed. All right, creatives to avoid. Avoid images with no people. This is the main theme here. So you want to show people in your ads whenever possible. People that are smiling, engaging. That's what's going to generate much better results than using this generic stuff that doesn't have any humans in it. And if you want help creating content, I have this employee generated content playbook. Again, just click the link below and I'll send you a link to this playbook. Okay, on to the copy. I'm going to be pretty quick with this because with copy, the most important thing is the above fold headline and the main headline. It does 80% of the work. I'll show you some examples of poorly written above fold copy. So this copy is cut off. This copy is just a big bundle of text, doesn't really communicate anything, and this is also cut off. What you want to do is in your above fold copy, communicate what's in it. So what's the name, what are you getting, what's the total value, and what's the price. Especially with local ads, like you just want to, it's better to be direct instead of clever. So be super direct, what people are getting, what's the name of the package, the benefits, the total value, and then the price. Okay, targeting. As I mentioned in my 2023 video, broad targeting is still best practice. You can let the algorithm do the heavy lifting, especially with local campaigns. A big mistake people do is they try to target super granularly. And what that does, it just restricts their audience size. So they don't have enough people to target because they're trying to get too specific. It doesn't give Facebook enough data to really use their algorithm and leverage it. And so they don't get good results. The campaigns may work for a couple days and then it just peters off and the results fizzle out over the next days and weeks. So here are some super simple campaign settings you can use. $25 a day minimum per campaign. We generally target female because they're going to be most responsive to these ads. Age 25 to 64, radius of 10 miles. This will differ. So if you're in Manhattan, you want to have a smaller radius since people aren't willing to drive as far, as opposed to being in a rural area with less population. You can expand out your radius because people are willing to drive further. And then placements, Facebook feed and stories, and Instagram feed and stories. So you can obviously get much more complicated than this, but this is our super simple standard targeting that you can start with today to get leads. Another big question I get is lead forms or funnel. And it really depends. So cost per lead, your lead forms are going to generate a much lower cost per lead because there's less friction. Whenever you have less friction, you usually have more people flowing through it, but generally the quality is going to be a bit lower because there's less intent. As opposed to a landing page, there is more friction. And so you're going to get less leads, they're going to cost more, but oftentimes they'll be more qualified because people have to jump through more hoops to become a lead. I will say though that you want to avoid bad friction. So there's good friction and bad friction. Bad friction is like a website loading slow. It makes the process more difficult, but doesn't give you any benefit. An example of good friction would be a opt-in form that has additional questions for people to qualify themselves. So it's harder for someone to complete it, but when they do complete it, you have more information on that lead, so it benefits you. So you want to maximize good friction or use good friction wisely and completely minimize bad friction. Setup speed. Lead forms are super quick. In our program, it's literally a one-click setup for our clients when they want to set up a lead form. Landing pages are going to be slower because you need to design it, do integrations, do the copy, etc. And then finally, meta lead forms are best for lower ticket offers, whereas landing pages can often be used for higher ticket offers where you have more education that is needed. Super short answer. If you're just starting out, I recommend lead forms as they're easier to set up and use. If you want to get more advanced, you can definitely try funnels, but just expect it to take a lot more time setting up funnels. Okay, that was a long section. On to number two, or the step two is getting the schedule. So you may have seen this before. It's the lead response management study. Marketers love to send it to their clients to like make a point that you need to follow up with these leads quickly. But I'm going to share it here again because it's so important. The odds of contacting a lead if called within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes drop 100 times. This is an insane stat. If you wait literally just 30 minutes, your odds of like contacting that person goes down 100-fold. So this is why it's so important to contact people quickly. And here's a video we're going to watch together to hammer
Now,
this
I
home.
recently talked to a restoration company, and he told me he was converting 55% of his leads, not calls, leads. And I was like, well, how many leads a day do you get? And he said 2 or 3. Okay, so what's the process? He's like, oh, it's really simple. My aunt, I pay her $60,000 a year, and she has only one job. She has no responsibility in the company. Besides, the moment a lead comes in, you stop having sex with your husband, you stop cooking, you stop loving your child, and you immediately call the lead. That's the only responsibility. She just has to make 3 calls a day at the moment the leads come in. He pays her $60,000, and that brings in millions of dollars of revenue.
3 leads per day. That's all they get. They get 3 leads per day, but this business owner knows how valuable it is to reach them within 5 minutes. So he's willing to pay his aunt 60K a year to do that. So if that doesn't convince you, here's another slide on why you should hire a setter or why you should just put more resources into having someone in clinic or remote or wherever to reach out to your leads as soon as they come in. Let's say you get 100 leads a month, but you respond in 3 hours. So you only book 10% of those patients. Let's say they have a $2,000 LTV. On average, they're worth $2,000 over their lifetime. 20K a month of lifetime value added to your clinic from those leads. Then you hire a full-time setter who replies within 5 minutes. Even being conservative, like forget the 100-fold decrease in bookings if you wait 30 minutes. Let's say you just double it, you get it to 20% from 10%. That is double the amount of patients at the same LTV. That's 40K a month. So your cost, you can literally hire setters. You can pay them a $600 salary and bonuses. Let's say you're paying them $900 a month on average. So you're trading $900 for an extra 20K in revenue. Would you take that trade? 100%. If you wouldn't take that trade, you should get out of business because that's a super simple, easy decision to make. And not a lot of people know this. They're just not willing to pull this lever because they don't know how powerful it is. Okay. So you may be wondering, what's the role of automation in AI? AI is not going to replace a full appointment setter, at least not yet. Instead, you should pair your setter with an AI SMS tool to boost efficiency. So you still want a human to manage your pipeline. You're not going to get AI to manage everything. Like you need someone, like a person in there to at least oversee everything and make sure everything's working properly. Next, the role of automation in AI should be to reignite leads to give you as many chances as possible to contact them within 5 minutes of them engaging. Let me just explain or show you how this works visually. So you have 2 axes here. On the y-axis, you have your lead heat, and on the x-axis, you have the time since opt-in. When a lead first opt-in, it is piping hot, it's burning hot. This is when you want to contact them. So you want to call and text them as soon as they come in. If you don't reach them, you want to have some sort of SMS drip sequence or AI bot that's going to continue following up. Because if they reply to that message, let's say you say in the text, reply Y to confirm this offer. Once they reply, they're all of a sudden reignited, they are hot again. And the reason for that is because when someone is opting into a campaign, that within that 5 minutes, like you are top of their mind, right? They're thinking about you, about that offer. And so that's the best time to contact them. 10 minutes later, they're off doing something completely different. However, once they see that text and they respond to your text, they're on your phone, they're thinking about you, the offer, and your business. You want to reach that person at that moment. So this is why you need SMS follow up and these AI tools, because it gives you more chances to contact the leads. If you still can't contact them, let's say you send another re-engagement text maybe the next day, they may not be as hot as they were when they first opted in, but they're still going to be quite hot and you want to call and text them there as well. So this is how you reignite leads, and this is how you should think about your automations helping you with your manual reach outs. Okay, on to getting the show. So why people don't show? They don't show for 2 reasons. Number one, fear eclipsing desire. And number two, no skin in the game. Let's talk about fear eclipsing desire. So when a woman wants to come in for a treatment, she's thinking, yes, I want to look better, but what if I get pressured into buying something I don't want? What if the clinic is sketchy? What if I end up looking fake? Will it hurt? I heard lasers can burn you. So they want to look better, but there's all these things that are stopping them. There's all these things that are causing their fear. And then next we have no skin in the game. And this simply means, AKA, not a big deal if I show up. So if someone is fearful of coming in and they don't think it's a big deal if they no show, like they're going to no show because there's not a lot, like they're not going to feel bad about it and they don't want to do it anyways. So increasing show rates just becomes a matter of increasing desire and decreasing fear, plus collecting prepayment, aka the skin in the game. So, how do you increase desire and decrease fear? The best way to do it is a unicorn offer. This is the beauty of a unicorn offer. It's designed to make it exciting for people to come in and reduce their fear by offering them a really compelling intro treatment that doesn't have a lot of downtime, doesn't have a lot of pain, and is widely applicable. And if you brought them in just for a consult, there'd be a lot of fear because they're thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be sold. But you combine the consult with the intro treatment, then give the consult a unique name to disassociate it from that consult verbiage, which people are scared of. So that's the best way to do it. And here's a quote I really love from Dean Jackson. He's an email legend, email marketing legend. He says, a compelling offer is 10 times more powerful than a convincing argument. Next is collecting prepayment. So I love to use this AB credit card close. Instead of asking people on the phone, do you want to pay with credit card? Do you say, do you want to pay over the phone or through text? And that changes it from a yes, no to an AB. If they want to pay through phone, you get the card. And if they want to pay through text, you send them a link and collect that. I have a free resource for this too. So if you click the link on this page, just like before, I'll send you this guide. There's this new patient call script, which has that AB credit card close. Okay, more tactics to increase show rates. On the phone call, get excited about them coming in and make the appointment a big deal. This goes back to skin in the game, actually, because if people don't think it's a big deal, they're not going to feel bad about not coming in. If you say, oh my God, we're so excited, the whole staff is prepped, everything, you make it sound like it's a second coming of Jesus. They're coming into your clinic and you're so excited to see them. Two, have the prospect verbally commit to date, time, and location. When people say things, when they speak it out loud, that increases their commitment. Send confirmation texts with address, picture of building in very specific directions. So you want to be like super clear about this. Pretend like a 2-year-old is trying to navigate to your clinic. So make it super obvious. Send an invite so they can add the appointment to their Google Calendar. Send follow-up texts. And here's a cool strategy for this. Instead of just saying, hey, are you still coming in? Why not ask them to engage by getting them to choose which bonus they want? So let's say you're giving a free moisturizer as a bonus with your unicorn offer. You can say, do you want moisturizer A or B? A is better for dry skin, B is better for wrinkles, or whatever it is. That gets to them to engage in a very fun way and is much better than just asking them if they're still coming in. You can create a welcome video and text it to them before their appointment. We have a lot of clinics that do this really successfully. And then lastly, make sure you have super solid Google reviews. This goes back to the fear. If you have really bad Google reviews, it's just going to reinforce their fear that something bad is going to happen. Okay, last step is getting the sale. So here's a super simple in-clinic sales flow for Meta Ads leads. First one is a welcome and intake. So greet the client, have them complete their paperwork. You also want to include paperwork that's separate from just the clinical stuff. And you want to include questions that will help you discover why they came in. So ask things like, how long have you been considering this? Have you tried other med spas before? What concerns are you looking to improve, et cetera, et cetera. Next is a consultation and a skin scan if you have one available. And this is super important. During the consultation, if you just take one thing away from this video, utilize case studies in your consultation presentation. Because when you think about it, when a person's coming in, all they want to know is, can you solve my problem? And have you already solved it for someone else? Because if you've already solved it for someone else like me, and you have proof of that, it's going to be super easy for me to sign up because there's clear proof that you solved my problem before. Next is the transition to the treatment. So a lot of my clients use a 2-person setup for this. There's a consultant and then provider. So the consultant does the initial consultation, and then when they're finished, they say, why your esthetician or NP or whoever's doing the treatment gets started with your facial or your treatment, I'm going to put together a customized treatment plan based on your goals. Would that be cool? And so they're going to say yes, they get the treatment, the consultant leaves the room, they put together what they think is best for that client, and at the end, the client's going to receive their treatment, and then at the end, you present the treatment plan. So you come back, you sit them down, you present the plan, and you can use this closing and downsell sequence. So the step one is to recommend the best option for best results. Do not prejudge. Offer them whatever is going to get them where they want to go. Maybe they need a series of 3 IPLs. Maybe they need 40 units of Botox and some filler. Maybe they need skincare. Maybe they need all the above. Just present what you think is going to get them the best results. Next, you're going to recommend add-ons to get even better results. So you can add in the neck, exosomes, etc. This will increase your average sale value. Next, you want to downsell until you find something you both agree on. If pricing is an issue, you can offer to-pay, you can offer financing, you can subtract treatments from the package until you reach an agreement. You can offer one more session just to get them back a second time. You can offer skincare only. You can book a follow-up and then refund the skincare purchase if they buy a package during that second visit. If they say no to that, you can offer a follow-up visit, and if no, just a follow-up call. So what you'll notice is there's so many options between a yes and a no. It's not just about getting them to buy a giant package right then and there. That's great if that happens, but if it doesn't happen, the person still wants to get results. There's a reason they took the time off work, they drove all the way to your clinic, to a business they don't know, to try out your treatments and see if you can help them. So people, they want to do something. It's just a matter of putting together a path forward that's going to work for them. So that concludes this video. If you found any of this valuable, like I mentioned before, click the link below. You're going to get access to this marketing resource sheet. It's a live Google Doc that I'm constantly updating with my best free resources. So it's definitely something you want to get. Click the link below, fill out the information. And yeah, I hope this video was valuable. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.